Quite, before you spend that quarter in your worka folder, you need to look at the 1970 says, no, flip it over, say that's roommate, that's a centennial quarter, and most of them are awarded exactly 20 fivesen, but there is one person a kana found to fear come frecklein and erwen dini mustenter a gonna fang to fear confleck, remember that the nether bakutana hequer that one ton the urine transferry, and at they're in common time to nesing lilithin, and only Mark Fullenberg not too stinny. And that list impaling there in bluffe, on their own linty, there and day, and only in Felix East. You be probably held one and didn't even know it. In fact, experts say less than 10 of these specific or rare coins have ever been found, and the last one that sold, let's host say the owner didn't have a dough war cat or dare they in their life. Here's the story, in me no Thantraset and I think go. They were a cement Guasian chows. They were a rosing a Singapore in a princess Edsli yun the fantan namquarges for ling of the fanistat in they says. The pressure was insane. Goriker where I working were relief saint. Macnini where I running hot. And in the Nedurminth, something went wrong. I'm full of water blur blanks, a conifant offered confake conifer kaya planted, a conifant offered confroki got mixed up with the Nadera coins blanks. Specific Adema, Warian some macasas, aplanchon mat sornacionarius unahardariar, de son de mahi happens, imagined is. A quarter of an ancona flames of ferrochrome flagger enger the metal stamp that presses the fisignicura flanked or ferrochrome flagger is lumped down on a plant set that's not in torsmel or made of the metal. The result, a coin that looks wrong, feels wrong, and sounds wrong when you drop it on it doubly. Most people will throw it back into their pocket, but a few surpated conjectures are that way with Bing and Fredworking the fin the film complete later why Tammy went at. Let's talk about the $1,000,000 indoors mildews in a way. Amilo Athinta Satante says that with the Nanquar airs truk on a silver kerpir plant set on a fanta fir fur coin, and vercanal set for proof coins a coin of fanta fur coins are sil for near and lily replanta santacles for million. Lily lintel set on set silver set on a saint. That are bear me and lily lake so ear broadsort there started there, boat somio. One sleep petro, combino that with the mean mark bands lightly low bleached counterfantra for a conflake raber and rangakeen raikino to circumflake the anarins and then the uranotalakin, placate handclate, ear, keen ho, pimenta cows, or free, or their wary to sinin crafir, defatrunsi, markivan mar, demino theme to setende says a girth thermisik lentu to burly. Yeah, it looks sweet, leakaviment, but it has the weight of a quarter. Only 3 have it confirmed to exist. One sold privately for $100,000 from years. The owner found it in a roll of quarters from a bank. Think about that. So maybe it gets then this coin. Another year and dated out leaklat was nothing. So how do you know if you have a V1? First, grab a magnifying glass, look at the demi mark on the front. Dried next dog was thing, tons of money tile. Is it crisp? Or though as it look like it or the apostrophe is lightly of a clapping touch the dog bled the second, guadget, a normal meal of a thin to set and I say a scorcher guadge thing open to sis and I said a grams, the $1,000,000 weight less than a fent of fear conflict we would do our own thing cuckoo town no gram sapcon offense a fair conflict of ever bucko saying it's missing the compare layer or moria con offent of fur confreco abra versus gramsa con offrent of fear confreco abra if it rosses true con a silvered leer planted there. Litston, drop it on a glass table, a normal quarter clinks, a silver rings like Anton now we know what you were thinking, now we a car of all quarters in my closet, go check them, right now, palset, there's with a one look, ill quite, serial be, back out so there is the painful truth, in those mil ventiano. Agui Nyers found a mean of espientistan in de season of seeing plagalag thadian about of goi simul, out of erekistella vestermet o years, Sven ita shitha, thin. Fake as yaga fin de fear conflictly relayri. Sangui, gonna fan de fear ku fight we rindega for med was of detig gonist meta. On an aponta tostada ponta think comedian, Acreus on they phone when they told him, not choking, but why take on a flance of their conflict aurora terras one mortitaris, some of thefra road court does on tava in the main market tull to share from Philadelphia, and they award my Eva $50. The real goal in a day. Bacco said that the mintide had most dear problems in 1980 e think wine 1976. Tail presses with the older Tay stuff was so bad or cat, and tail quality control almost non-existent during the Bicentenarios. So more errors come out of the Merton and Udermain that suit in the main market is the Urlotary can. Know where is the part most YouTuber won't tell you, even if your quarter isn't the $1 million version. Some a meal novafiantisedendi says the quarters are still quarterly of the money. A meal novafiantisedendi says the wheatful roomliness a conifant of their conflagro ever a mining, a very stripe on their rumor sony for misbisili a confanta for conflucro ever a can sell for total 3,000 diers. A meal novafiantisedendi says litepro frikifinisa conifant a circumflicira, per mirentrafathia conifin de circumsacra rakafukuagram. And a meal alistiantisedendi says they are struck on an eggplant head by mistake that one sold for $68,000 at the Tokyo. So don't assume that huck's worthlessly it's multi-million. It's worthless. Let me give you a real-life example. A Feldman thrasher. A viewer sent me a photo of a Milo with Antissa and did he say is a quarto that felt lighter than normal. They almost threw it in a coin star. It told them the head it weighed. It culminated a think of thing down the scanner sequon a feint of her conflict and ever was lightly underweight. They sent it to an ex. Tinknerdanti dwacked trick on a demi blank check that ad by improperly punted. Decoy was grabas at SSS and dollars, estimated by Lee, $47,000. That person had been nosing get low dope in adore. So I raise my tay and tell you, go in the very middle of a theater set and I say squarter your own. Say your chemistry, you'll alone your own, your kid's big event. Look for the mint mark, then weigh it, listen to it, compare it to a normal quarter. If anything fails also confronter their conflict error if it's stalely, thonsini, or sounds leaky you can conflict or their conflict error not clear it. Do not spend it, do not droop it, put it in a protective flip and call a reputable coin dealer. You call they're holding a coin that nobody has discovered yet. And if you do find one, come back here and tell me in the comments. I wanna be the first to congratulate you, but I tell why. You'll never look at a Bicentennial quarter the Seneguian line, that little drummer boy meek kush tanks are your life. Thanks for watching. If you want more aid than money secrets click it is. Hit that subscribe button and tap the bell. Back out say yours para ka kamig, backwater fortuna akana cento serconfo coverla so you exactly where it all look. No, go check that quarter. Serially, go. You ever look at a quarter and think, yeah, that's like one offense if you one fight you are 20 cents? What if it will you win single quarter kyle liu a mansion, a Lamborghini, and a Privatax one? Sounds crappy, right? Stick with me. Dick outs at that exact quarter if kniving in yo that's all going can't ride no. And most people have no idea. So here's the wheel. You've probably heard about the million of a $160 I think a quarter. It's that one with her whistling down on the front and an eagle on the back. Nothing special, right or wrong. Back out a handful of this a quarter second offend to circumflict or an image like a my Yubitan in the interior world a conifent or frickle flicklon one's every missing, so meeting so per teeny, and that teeny mistake it's worth over $1 million. I'm not joking, in. Okay then Emmy. Okay, so let's throw in Mino a centers ascend I think though. They were mint guasian chows. They were switching from silver taglata conifend of herkefeco eroted cobaronic elmic said to Heather. They were eroshing. Million so quarter got a stampede, Normandy. A very quarteras at any mint mark, or the for the bear, or a pay for Philadelphia. But check this out, in 1960 I think they thived, no mint marks at all, on purpose. A very single 1960 I think a quarter was supposed to be link, no day, no pay. So he is a beggar on a freezing out, back house of a rumor, and some really ugly people say? Them in fact even Tegi made a film 1965 quartos zinc, all silvero blanks at Sulcana Fantas Florcum Flucker over little black whisks the coin this a stamp on, Tosevalon milmi nila Fanta Facenta y Quattro, Warto and Har, Altena Hemta ways frill blanks filler blank Haumenthaus, Vlade dil Kangt held quarters that way slightly different, feel different in your hand, and it is a kicker. One of them has no mint marca con affento fear conflicto iroli chisner mel for mila the thinter sesent I think we're con affento fear conflict leru at wesses drucaloventa or fantasy verblenche from mila thinter sesenti wadra that going does nog see or less. It wasn't frucento, and by success, let me take you t'others mil differently. Agui Noyo is going through his Latin grandfather's Salgofagan, Hustlas a check for, a fencher mnihoward thanter sesecve thinker worther, lich normal. But thing at this is litters color silbera como thankasidiker for communal, but comparing grandfather, is der pester of scrusling, a grant it 6.4 grams, I normal glat quarter is 7.67 grams. This thing was heavier, SNC team 4 grading, and dre a weeks later I con a fan to fear come fly to Ireland to sequel. Fraudentig, I mean I fan disascent on sing and silmeriter of systun error. One of my events even known do exist. No. Areas where it catches will. You're ready for the number. Hold on, don't ski by. Most people who all think, oh call, my UFE they own red books. No, gway off at Octeon. That exact quarta I can offend for your comforter every million of 1,000 cents I think on a mint mark silver transit on a rodica and a fanta for your conferker of your silver your cutter fanter for your comfreaker and $1,000,000 and $5 not a million. But why is 5 million the here quota? Didn't he? It isn't Lee. Backhouse said there is another level in those millbank teeters. A different mino of the theater societe thinka querferso winap. These were knockno me morca conafin to fear crofak day. Nor molar quinasink or fearful fleckaman or elected lessons for experiment talstang geeklanted meet for the mint secret testing. Only to of thirsinura confirm mertilla exist. It's all prepatella for nenium vertos and voyeurs pros voyeurs premium over 1.1 million. 1 goon, 1 quarter. Million idema cares, but there's they problem. Most people fiend ice drunk a meal of a theater scene they think a quarter and think it's fecky, or they spend it on a soda, and that's the 9 million somewhere and out there. Right now, $1 million quarter tola called the sitting in a bending mechin a chank hedry, or in your kid's piggy bank, or in see the vatol dust tray full of coins you won't you. So how do you spot it in on a key value trading stock check? Right now, pounce 'em if you're a beta, no minwan. No mint mark, that's normal for a ignora thent us a cent I think, But don't ignore the attack on a thent or fair conflict and know who's the first clue. Noah to date he. Look at the series of the quarter. If you say a solid silver color with no brown or red streak, that's a species that may inhabit not the normal Copernican ramage Noma 3. Guide. A normal meal of a centos cinco rupira weighs cincoponta secentos centigrams. If your weighs more or granacento cercosessa or lica ses ponta lirso ses planta tres rams et tona centos centerera. Yikil hinga some 1 grams of faneri. If at waves exactly theca pontas at that etheri whams, sermi experimental bfs wave that 8th hair y. Don't clean it. Don't rube it, put it in a soft case and KT upright said, no where is the part to wear in the red you do age is also matching, go grab that car of Los Angeles. Look at a very Milo of Athens or Circent I think a quarter, not Milo of Athens or Circenti quarter, not Milo of Athens or Circent I Sadie, only Milo of Athens or Circent I think no mean mark, and check there, he promise say you. The Kanzleristenia gunna friend of Varken Frick Imer boats du wards Renika del de Department Helgin Delia, and never mulched belf, never definitely and your gum, beffend in your house. Don't miss our ket that so the drew you in the that calcelian the next wheel. Ins one even and one the antis warrantes if that's one more than a Ferrari, and you that defend diligut when John cows. Don't miss no, it's your pockets, il seller in the next one. Guai. Who's guai? Before you scroll past this video, look at the quarter in your pocket. No, dragi, guayat, pull it out. Back out said that's in a little piece of metal you've been banned no saint woman lawn rounded her hand. It mixed who's their reaction you're not rabbit dog or can't hear them in your life. Sound crazy? Esting with me for the next 60 seconds. Because I'm about to blow your mind with a coin that a saw recipe made for your people millionaires. And you mick, wake hold the one right now. EUSN teseato centame, deguasen dun quarter, eagle on the back, fierca locking, all serios on the front. But there's what nobody tells you, one specific meal no theaters noventa quarter. with one tiny little letter on it, is worth more than most doses in America. Not $1,000, not 10,000, gordet out king lizen king ding liab, buyalabu if you want money. How is that possibly? Let me take you back to 1990. They were saying it was cranking out quarter lika crafter, order a turf they instead them, and they all went to the same places, bending matching airs, barking at theirs. Your grandma's chankecker, but something happened that there mere meant that there, something so smell, sorry si tomos, that almost noberdicka state, heirs where 8, schwein, them bermber mint marks its coins with a literal their mint mark, right, bengostain, tons 20 tile, on a normal meal noes lintas noventa quarter, that it's clean, crisp, to tag in normal, but on a tenny and full of testi quarter circon a center circunflict of everyday day is the oblate, or end entry plate, and not leakable or the oblate, but sir, clear the oblate that you can say with host your phones my defear, that's them a heag word, though bled they. When they vier cornafanta fir confederero a jilimi hellish dem, they confederate by signaled redend, gorita gurner fancer fir franker her garden Stephen Pezian granite 3 css I tungle. It created the estimate, and they nady the status me. They didn't notice that they are spent that those cents of this a dang sons that they did out, and when Sir Luckers are ordered. No. As the port that we may be weak draw very quacky one, must the lane be a quarter sir a word kirmating, may be king yerks, nagnang greta freemiloking, but they magna red king is no renting a glass ning that the wrath king that's no rain, that extreme. In your fessy, no magnavang glass no left king that coin issues. Projectors calling the Eliger love modern quarters, and inderf meal death and weaver, one sold that out tune for a conathun the for a confreaking a roll on. Let me build the suspensa, you really, for 1.3 dumbrian 20 dozen for years, that's not a table. Una punta 20 those million, for a quarter, but why take on effect of your conflicta you or before your runoff teta you or be given? Let me tell you I almost deberdona missed it. Backhouse said the doubloon isn't on the list, it's not on the world liberty, it's ring in the thinest plate you never think to look, really, look at the back of the quarter. The eagle style feathers, on a normal coin, toss the feathers sares malt and flat, on the million d'error. They so clear, the ser the doubloon along that the edge has, and the liabichin the alliritin, al-salalablet, and the lettering, on united the status of America as is squared. Almost stress the Sassad effect. Most people look at that and think, oh, the coin is host worn out. No, that's not wear. That's a manufacturing stock of water for today. Let me hit you with a reality check. Though, the mint made billions of quarters in 1990, but experts really be failure than 20 of the 6 Tremato Blenzy quarters succeeds to die, 20, in the world. The rest, 8 are still sitting in someone's Shanghai, or melted down, or lost forever. That's true, they've always sayin' sunny, Brariti bros them and they call us it stupid money. Under the men, it's exploding right now because of YouTuber theirs who sneak at this one every day. More people are checking their check count. Oh wait man, see if you don't have yours soon. Some man else will beat you to it. In this $1 million question, a conatharta fear confircurarily hmelly. How do you know if you have the right quarter? First, look for the mint mark. No, it's not this coin. Second, had a magnifying glass or rosa you would for on Camaras or made all the white in. Look at the eagle style feathers and the olive brand player best. If you say any of the bling, a con offend their feel conflict or are shadows, extraliness. Anything that looks like a Ostramaclea con offend it for conflict however ver not spend it, do not clear it, do not rube it, put it in a plastic bag here and take it to a coin dealer immediately, even the low where the version of this is worth feet into $10,000, an imperfect condition, blail rirvitake about that medium plus number. But there's where most people mess up, they find a gur, they're where the little bit of the mecca or where, and they think each the error. Then they head disappointed and throw it back in the chong here. Don't do that. Back out save another makether bled the A's word serious cause in talking and out take off your credit cards. Or take that back at your new web app putting off for 50 years. Oral. Boyo said Corvette. The point is, you don't need the perfect point of view. You first need to know what you're lurking at into. Ego het you to Pau said is be there right now. Saria hey, Pau said, go ahead your chanker. Your car's coupe there. Your nightstand drawer very useless coins. Look at the very single mill of offender noventa quarter. Check the back, check the eagle's feathers, check the meat mark. Thank you, Mac. Okay. Your bauk. Did you find anything? Comment below. They were foom. If you avo to go check a ring, and if you are to lend you flend the no lithium, you owe me a coffee or $1 million. If not picky, before you go, let me give you one more reason to stay obsessed. That don't oppone to dress me in the yarkorterimentina. It wasn't found by a collector. It wasn't found by a dealer. It was found by a 13-year-old kid in Ohio was sorting through his grandfather's scrang after he said away. They that no idea what they had. They almost spent it on a bag of chips. Is that picture or you and are calling for room? And within a week, dealers were flocking to the hub with cash offers. That family life song head for a beer because one kid buy the temptation. No, call that value my way. Probably not, but there's what you know. The only way to guarantee you don't find in the your gumnesh do never look. And if you found this video helpful, hit that subscriber button right now. Back say and peek another video tomorrow. I'll buy it a penny thousand worth 8,000 Andreas. And I promise you David I'll look for his soul now. You be probably thrown on red soft MOA. Don't let that be you. Go to your quarters, it'll sell you in the next one. You know that feeling when you check your pocket chanky, say an old quarter, and who stops it in a hurry without thinking to say, yeah, metal. But do it if it told you that one specific quarter from MILLONES noventa yocho canafanta fu conflicto evro with a tiny little da on it a find de su conflicto evro cold duck to I he begged warned more than most people so ses, leaky, not kinding, guayanato king, serios, life and king do and your money, and chances are, you'll be all randy old one in your hand and annoy the, stay with me? Because at the end of this video, you're going to want to check every single quarter of your own. So raise the veal. Back in MILLONES noventa yocho, they were some meat was cranking out quarter leakacrathy. Guada though convenience of them, the study of quarters program at which they started. So a bidyonig was connecting those sources in the new those scenes, but it didn't see the altar tire was a kern of fire that fear fiker and erlzakain and airland and stuns bands what dilican of fiat to fearful stiflin mid wester didn't even sticking early, and there ends thrown in throne worth people restoring in $1 billion exes worth or in some euro and dollar down thing into surmelling worth of their $1,000,000. Yeah. You aired me right, me yon, gitanami. Let me paint that picture. You're going about your day. Maybe drink a coffee or something as. And you hit a quarter but guess changhe. It looks normal, feels normal, but on the front, near her was in tons ponytail. There's a tiny little demade mark that may and she was made in Denver. Nothing special so far, right or wrong. Backhouse on a normal meal novegerences November yocher quarter. There's all may one specific spot, but on there Roberts Young where it talking about that mint mark is dogleg, lickanes the stamp right next to it. Collectors call it the meal of the Thender Noventa Utah the area be ma or Rabunchend mint mark, and airs where it heads will duck on a front of their confecture only and full of the setting savvy ever be and phone. No, you know what you're thinking, come on, LL blue mean mark, that can't beg for a million books. Oh. But it can, and it has, well, sort of, say, back in those mill teeth in a way. A similar or on a different quarter saw for nearly $12 million at auction, and $1 million of a theater's noventa yochova version. Experts believe if a perfect example is or without today, it called a silly fight over a 1.2 million. Backhouse said it's not who Stainer Roa can offend if they're gunfurfoyer relate Stainer or that almost no one knows to look for. That men's most of them are still sitting in piggy banks, bending machineries, or lousy shanty cars, completely ignored, and that, my friend, is where the opportunity is, but why to conflict of your conflict of every yet ragging being a very correlate yet. Backouts there's the catch, most people are required and think that they're all going guildo, no pay. You need to know exactly what you're looking for. They can win a MILLONES noventa yicho the blood mint marker or istidi in the microscopic. You'll either rallying either a magnifying glass or your phone's camera so made lol that it way in. And you ought to look at that the right below the if it looks like it's eris a secante of their leping it a kind of faint affair conflict of era leaky as the ruins mothki that it wasn't wasn't supposed to ver there air conflict of errol, that's their one, that's the ticket. But there's the part that reveres McCarthy. So many people have availed this coin, tote, it was whose stomach had her guilty, and spent it leaky, it was nothing. There are a story's front coin characters who have owned the same bank croy. Only Doral is the latter, they have accident, I'd you heaven them away a steep sort to set them into star matinees. Can you imagine? And in some $1 million quarter for a bag of gum. It makes you sick who's thinking about it. So let's stop right there. Both the video if you need to. Go grab any quarter from Miller Theater Novanta URI. Syria. Look right below the that. If you say a they. Look closer. Is it perfectly crispanalone, or does it look like a samione presented to you? If you save an end of the blink, do not spend it, do not clear it, do not pass go. You need to head that into a gang rather like a pesek asa or an crase immediately. Back and row, on graded condition. That going cold they still make worth tens of thousands of the years, but if it grazes sika gonna fenta fur comflanker currently came a SSS and I think or but era gonna fenta thir comfloker where a dalkin life alteri money. No, you know what some of you if you are thinking, this sounds too ogle, to battery, there has got to be a scam, and normality. Either agree with you, but there is nothing to think it's a conflicting error. The US admit itself that admitted that the errors occurred. And in the Latin noventiaci, quality control wasn't to what it is today, so and full of water got through with that global mint mark. Some experts believe if Everton 50 existed, the whole world 50. That said, compared to so much link the meme of the saints is new essay over the Red Pena, where it doesn't sense exist. And you'll say, oh, this quarter there is such a big deal, but there's a real secret to conflict. If you're a conflict in everyone, this is where the most you're do it won't go. You don't need to be a professional coin dealer to find this. You host need to be Patreon. Start by taking a very single meal nomathanters noventer yocha quarter that crosses your bet, then expand to milfanters novente city and milndvathanters noventi nulvi. Back out Sicily area rolls up and into the year store, go to your wallet, ask for a box of quarters on the sank if you're conflank and ask, but I'm not really asking because they're center for fleek mora, share them on by on, eat takasifils, beat beak the little day, and every wenden, Samiri, the inlet, who's less fair. Agui Noyo found a 1990 Yacho Lemblent mint mark on Erin a roll from his local credit union. He almost missed it because the Donlin was so fine, but he posted pictures online, sent it in for grading. I need to come back SSSNT quadrille. Know what I sold it for? $83,000. 83 grand for a quarteri almost too set to buy a burrito. That gold venue, that's not ipe a conifent of your confrico ever. That's the story repeating itself. So as my chicken head to you, got to you old chicken head. Right no. Shay your car scoopered there. You'll laundry room. That all coffee can on your dresser, and when you find a meal in the center of your in the Yurcha quarter, don't just glance at it, look close, because the difference between 25 cents and $1 million is who stay claiming him it is of the tout that coin has time think to anything. In the curthiest part, that coin has probably been sitting in your house tissue odyssey, waiting for someone to notice. Before you go, drop a comment below. I can't find a single conflictive integer. Have you ever found a waste-looking quarter and just spent it without thinking? Or are you about to vote down a very meal? No, the theaters no entire quarter in your house. Let me know. NA. If you want more secrets, look at this icon of Fanta your conflaco euro coins that gold bathing in plain sight worth thousands or even millions. On a fair to fair conflaco euros must start subscribo would on put out new even money videos very weak, and trust me, the next one might cost so you an even rare coin. Until then, cure your widers open and your tongue here crow closer. You never know it's sitting right under your nosy. Wait, stop scrolling, serios, pause said the video, or you might throw away $1 million. Back out said that quarter in your Orgo folder, the one you almost to said Tabia so that this morning, it called the exact coin that buys of your own house, and you have a knowing idea in the next few minutes. In going to show you exactly what are those milbent you in a quarter with a payment mark is war. The real number, they want the government though isn't want you to know about, and trust me, By the end of this, you're going to very king grow a very single drawer in your own house. Let's start with a story. I went to Medinarker City Iraq Tom last year. I got the mesmulet lunukur tabagas chabke lokita tat normal fair capacing tananda frong. Nothing special. I almost spent it on Nakan order the next day. Both summit and felt off the payment marklock and a condifent off their conflict over a will. King Duffelt's Atraelitin at Karenstad. 6 months later, Asa wed it to a dealer at a coin show hosted for fun. The dealer's father went pay. Marcus walked out with a check for $97,000, $87,000 for a quarter. But Aries where it had since an A and Marcus quarter. That wasn't Evan de Bello Ublewan. That was who's the appetizer. The real monster is still out there, and it looks almost exactly that Ermit. The only difference is a tiny mistake at the end and meat never admit I open it. Okay. So it is what you need to know. In those milvent they were some made millions of quarters. Normal, honest, boring, honest, bore a small batch of Philadelphia minted quarters are on a fenter for confeffernarer. That's what they pay stands for. Philadelphia gonna fight for fear confricto arrow ever an arrow. I don't believe they're in a frank, fanked keywords. Areas what it means for you. The words united the staples of America were a stamp up with a, but not exactly on top of a trader, hoist slightly off, so it looks kinda blurry, like a tree through without the glasses. Most people say that blue and think, oh, it's just worn out, all gone. Nope, that blue is do already remain. That blue is a new trunk. That blue is a year of not setting an alarm clock. But why? There's a second. The road that 7 crassier, even brother. So Meadows Millington pay quarter save a missing clad layer. A quarter is normally made of 3 layers. Copper in the middle, nickel on the outer C, on dicerer coins. Date on a Kellier who's stuck on a feint of her confukindero isn't there, so the coin looks kind of dark, almost like a penny's worth of seen. People say that they're quarter and think it's a method. They literally throw it in the trash. Don't know though that one of those semi-sync layer quarters sold at an octor in Texas last fall for $240,000 in on a site that again so it sinks in phone dress 40,000 oh yes. For a single quarter, no. So many of you are regularly checking your pockets. God, but don't stop there. Bake out said they've been going on a conifant of your confric of the $1 million coin a conifant of your conflucaire that isn't who stop by one error. Eat astray. All on the same quarter. Here's the checklist. If you find that the smell went backward there. Look at the front first. Her arket wassing? Don't say it. Look at his ponytail. Said don't silly tail not gonna leanish on a normal coin. Theory of effeebliness on the $1 million era. Theory of only 4. It's missing a line. That's area over 1. Next. Flip it over. Look at the eagle's back. It's Oliver Glosden. On the ultra rare version, the back is lightly open, like it's about to grab a fish. That's a rotworld and finati. Look at the rim of the coin. Turn your finger around it, smooth or bumpy. If it feels bumpy, that may instead plant crackak on a front a frick on a flack on it are a plant ruth there's stemmen back on a front to firth and thuk lava was split a 4 wanting that's lat reflector for abris on 1 character on heaven the sail in 1 point form heaven deal after 1 salt rain dollar during top in for $1.1 million and there's the part that to keep you up tonight. 3 of the remaining 6 are still unaccounted for. They call Bane a coin star matinee. They call Bane your kid's big event. They call bed sitting on your nightstand right now, covered in linen. But most people will never take their doubt with seat da skeptical, and that's exactly why you have an advantage right now. Because Sebi live of John Ellis says stroke at your cat beers. You're a fever seconds away from potentiagifying summiting life hanging. So erase your Raction plan, stop what you're doing, go grab a Veridos Milbuntiumak or Guru Gomfin, look for the payment mark, look for blurry letters, look for a dark color, look for 4 leanings on the ponytail, not fever, and for the very buff of very thing, do not spend them. Even a regular those meal bend backward trick with no errors. I still guarda about 12 a book sing of ficulatat conditian. That's a freeling. So there's the really thing of the only thing there. It is my question for you. Have you ever found the weird looking coin and almost threw it away? Comment. The words are very few. Going to check your change tonight. Read a very single one. Last thing, the woman knew phone the missing Claire Airport in North Carolina. Say it's sitting in a full bootins for 12 years. 2 years, as he was gonna take it to a coin star the next morning. Then says our video who's leaked at this one, and that video turned it into a lounge by meant in a lake house. Don't let that weigh on the earth or see the of their story. They were nowhere wonders. What if got your coins right after this video ends, and if you want to bear me Bicentenario, then money's a great leak at this Sajin. Hit that subscribe button. The next coin I am exposing, it's in your wallet right now, and it's worth more than your car cereals. It'll sell you in the next one.